through why come back?
There's a lot of reasons. One, I became a hero in my household. In fact, my wife and family are really excited that I'm coming back. But it just, when leaving, it kind of had mixed feelings about leaving, and then having the opportunity to come back, it just made all the sense in the world, and was really happy when Thad had talked to me about coming back. Like, I couldn't get here quick enough. So it was great.
Thad said that you guys talk fairly regularly, so it wasn't like a call out of the blue. Did you have to think about it long, or what was the process like deciding to officially come back?
It was a quick decision. You know, Thad asked me if I'd be interested, and I immediately said yes. He was like, well, where is your interest? I'm like, I'll walk there if you want me to. So it was a quick decision, and just really happy. You know, feel very much at home. So it's really looking forward to it for sure.
No, I think there's some lifestyle differences probably between coaching in the NBA and certainly coaching in the D-League and then coaching in college. And I'm sure college is probably a little more demanding in some respect. Just why take that challenge back on and maybe leave like a coaching job that allows you to have a little more time to yourself maybe?
Well, it's just a different job. You know, there's the same demands. They're all demanding, and it's just that coaching in college is a different capacity. And one coach has said to me when I came here previously, and he said the one thing he enjoyed about college coaching is you wear many hats. You know, you have like 7 hats a day. You're a counselor, you're a recruiter, you're a coach, you're a parent, you know, all those things. And I appreciate that about college coaching. So I look forward to those challenges and the type of job that is college coaching.
You know, one thing you didn't have to do when you were in the NBA and D-League was recruit. I'm just curious how it was to be back on the road. I think you were back on the road this past weekend. Just what that was like for you.
I like that part of it. You know, it was good. It's fun to, you know, as you talked about, you kind of get to be your own GMs as coaches in college. Now, obviously, you don't always get the guys you're looking to get, but it allows you to be an individual as a coach too. You look for different qualities in a player that, you know, another coach on the staff might. So it's a really good part of the job, and it's obviously has more to it than just going and observing. They've got a lot more layers, but it's a fun part of the job.
Chris, going off that, was there anything that you learned from maybe your first stint here, recruiting-wise, that you think might help you now that you started back here again?
For sure. You learn the trade itself. You know, there's a process to it. There's a way to go about it. So having had that experience previously, you kind of know exactly what you're getting into. Whereas before, everything was kind of new. You know, I was just kind of exploring, asking the coaches step by step. And now I know what works for me, and I have a game plan. So it makes it a lot easier in that respect.
And just kind of building off of that, you talked about the recruiting, but how do you feel that you're different as a coach now than your first time around here at Ohio State?
That's a good question. I know that I'll be a better aid for Coach Mata, having been a head coach last year, because you know, you talk about how you feel, and I only had that interim job with Orlando as a head coach previously to that job last year. So you really respect the position and all the demands that go into it. Even though it's a different league, you really see what all that goes into that job, and it's a tough one, you know. So I know I can help him, but I also, having coached different individuals along these 3 years of travel, I know I'm a better coach and a better communicator. And also stuff on the court, you know, I have more of an opinion in certain areas. So I've certainly grown over the last 3 years.
You mentioned being the head coach, being an asset now as an assistant. You're actually not the only former head coach on the staff now, but are there going to be any challenges for you in that regard, going back into an assistant role after serving as a head coach?
No, it's not. Coach Mata runs the show, and that's fine. I'm here to help him. I'm here to help the program, the university. So that won't be a problem. And Coach Mata is great. Like, he gives you a lot of responsibilities, and he allows you to grow as a coach day to day, which is another reason why it was so easy to come back.
Chris, I'm curious, obviously you had your own stuff going on, but I know Thad said you guys keep in contact. How familiar were you with what was going on here, and what do you see moving forward here with kind of the state of the program as you return?
I was well aware of what was going on. Coach and I started talking a lot after my situation changed in Sacramento, just as a friend reaching out and kind of opened that line of communication. So we've been talking pretty frequently throughout that last year. What I see is opportunity. You know, I see a group of guys here that with their commitment and their focus, hopefully last year's a motivation moving forward. And so I see a lot of opportunity for the people that are here and also for those that are going to come in the future.
When we talked to Thad last week, he said he hadn't exactly sat down and decided who's going to coach what part of the team, offense, defense, things like that. He said that was going to come Monday. What do you know, or what will your role specifically be on the staff? Do you know yet?
No, we'll discuss it, you know, and I know that Coach has confidence in all of us, and we'll feel comfortable in whatever role he puts us in. So we haven't discussed it much, but it'll be defined, and you know, we'll attack those positions and our duties the best we can.
Because I think a lot of us, when we think about your coaching tenure, we think about the offensive end of the game. And when Jeff Foles left, he was known for looking over the defense. I wonder where you feel you are as a defensive coach.
Yeah, I can coach both sides of the ball, you know, and it's I like to think of myself as a basketball coach, you know, pretty well-rounded. So, you know, whatever we do, I've had some great experiences both trying to apply things I thought were important to the defensive end, but also have played and coached with a lot of very good coaches in that side of the ball.
And I know last time when you left here, one of the things that you had said was it was tough to get used to only having a certain number of hours, that you would like to have more time to instruct guys. What sort of challenge is that going to be, again, having to deal with, there's limits on how much interaction you can have, how much time you can spend on the court. What's that challenge going to be like adapting to that again?
Just really have to maximize it. You know, there has to be a great focus and intent when you get on the court. There can't be any waste of time. You know, you don't have time to get loose, and you have to get after things as soon as you step on the court, and there has to be a certain level of intensity every day that you get out there so you maximize the time that you have.
I don't know how much you've been able to familiarize yourself with the roster, but when you were here, the team was very good offensively. The last 2 years, they've seen dips and weren't that good in some stretches. I'm just curious, when you look at the team you have, do you see a lot of room for growth offensively? Do you see maybe guys who have a high ceiling who haven't quite gotten there yet?
Yeah, I mean, that's college, right? Trying to reach your potential, and that's step-by-step process. And having guys understand what they need to be and how they can best help their team is a progression. It takes a little bit of time, and how teammates interact and react to one another out on the floor. Oftentimes, when you're together for a certain period of time, you get better, and I think that's what's going to happen. We can look forward to next season. These guys are going to have a whole summer again of being together and working together, and that should produce growth at both ends of the floor.
And you obviously weren't here, but they lost some players, and Coach Monda's message has sort of been moving forward with guys who want to be at Ohio State. You're obviously a guy who wants to be at Ohio State. Just what does it do for the program when there are people invested in the success of this university? You
have to understand that there's a lot of things much larger than you as the individual. And certainly this university is much larger than anyone in this room, anyone on that court. And once you embrace that and understand that you're not only playing for your team, but your school, your university, you play different. You play a different style of basketball. And I expect that everyone that is going to step on that court will play with that type of pride.
Just wonder what sort of goals you have as you get your feet wet here and start to familiarize yourself with being back. What do you hope to accomplish?
I want to attack every day. I really want to help this program every day. And whether it be recruiting, having a conversation with one of the guys, helping them understand their academic responsibilities, whatever it might be, I want to make sure I'm trying to do my best every single day to get that 1960, get some company up there on the wall. And that was the motivation when I got here previously, and that's certainly the motivation this time around as well.
Thad had mentioned that you were recruiting Jayshawn Tate before you left here. Are there any other guys on the team now do you have any sort of previous relationship with? Yeah, I had, I was involved with Kada, and actually Jaquan, I was like the first guy to go see him play in Evansville. So all the guys, Cam, I met, I wasn't active in his recruitment, but got to know him a little bit. So it's kind of neat.
Like all the guys that are here, and David Bell as well, all those guys that are here, I knew previously, and I think that's going to help us moving forward.
Chris, I just wanted to ask you when it was finalized and all that, what was the reception like the first time you met with the guys? And you mentioned the guys that you knew, but what was that kind of reception like the first time you got back with them and it was kind of for sure that you were going to be back as an assistant coach?
It was great. You know, obviously knowing the guys a little bit it made it easy, but I think they're excited. They know what I'm about. So I think they were excited, and you know, I think it was obvious that I was happy to be in the room. So yeah, it was good. It was really good.
Hey Chris, at this level,